Today, we're diving into a truly monumental intellectual project, the story of how one of the most trusted books in the Islamic tradition, Sahih Muslim, was created.
So let's just start with a puzzle. How would you, right now, go about proving that someone said something specific more than 1,200 years ago? Not just anyone, but a person whose words are seen as a core source of guidance by millions of people.
And here's the real kicker. You know for a fact that in the time since, countless liars and hypocrites have been actively spreading fake quotes for their own reasons. This wasn't just a library puzzle. It was a full-blown crisis of misinformation.
Right, so this was a massive problem. How did the early Islamic scholars even begin to deal with it? Well, the whole challenge was about preserving the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, which come to us in the form of what are called Hadith.
So what exactly is a Hadith? Well, think of it as a report. It details something the Prophet said, something he did, or even something he silently approved of. It's a huge deal in Islam, considered the second most important source of guidance right after the Quran. In fact, some sources even call it revelation unrecited. That tells you just how much weight it carries. Now, to fight back against this flood of fake stories, scholars didn't just cross their fingers and hope for the best. No way. They developed an incredibly rigorous system, a real science of verification, to sort the authentic from the completely false. And at the absolute bedrock of this new science was one simple but totally powerful rule. If a report comes from a known liar, it's rejected immediately. No second chances, no exceptions. The technical term they used for this kind of untrustworthy person was a fasiq. If a narrator was flagged as a fasiq, their testimony was considered totally worthless. You can see how this created a powerful incentive for honesty, right? Your reputation was everything. And the stakes just could not have been higher. This warning against spreading lies came directly from the Prophet Muhammad himself. So, for these scholars, getting it right wasn't just about being a good historian, it was a profound matter of faith.
Okay, so the tools were being forged, but it took people with almost superhuman dedication to actually use them. And that brings us to one of the absolute masters of this science, Imam Muslim.
I mean, his whole life was this quest. Born in Persia, he started searching for knowledge when he was just a teenager. He traveled all over the medieval Islamic world, Iraq, Syria, Egypt, studying under more than 220 different teachers, painstakingly gathering every single report he could find. And over his lifetime, he collected a truly staggering number of narrations, 300,000. Now, it's important to understand that that doesn't mean 300,000 unique stories. It refers to the chains of narrators. So if 10 different people reported the same story, that would count as 10 narrations. Still, this sheer volume of data he had to process is just mind-blowing. But here's the key. Imam Muslim wasn't just a collector, he was a master critic. He developed this incredibly detailed system for grading the reliability of every single person in every single one of those chains. And what's really cool is we have his own words on this. He was looking for the absolute gold standard. He wanted narrators who were known for being very strong and very careful, people whose accounts were consistent and clear, not all mixed up. He basically sorted everyone into 3 classes. First, you had the first-class narrators. These were the A-listers, righteous, totally reliable, with perfect memories. Their reports were accepted, no question. Then you had the second class. These were good, truthful people, but maybe their memory wasn't quite as sharp. Their reports were used, but with a degree of caution. And finally, the third class. Anyone even accused of lying or whose reports were already widely criticized, they were just flat out rejected. So after applying this intense filter to his massive collection of 300,000 narrations, how many unique, top-tier reports did he actually accept for his book? 4,000. From 300,000 down to 4,000? That is just an unbelievable feat of critical analysis. The result of this incredible, lifelong effort was a book that would become a cornerstone of Islamic scholarship for all the centuries that followed. And this is it, Sahih Muslim. The title itself is a statement of purpose. The word Sahih in Arabic means authentic, sound, or free from any defect. It's a declaration of confidence in the rigorous process that went into every single report in the book. His book was also revolutionary in its structure. He placed each hadith in just one logical chapter. Then, right after it, he listed all the different reliable chains of narrators that he found for that specific report.
This transparency was brilliant. It lets students easily compare all the versions and see the strength of the evidence for themselves. It was a system designed to build trust. So, what's the lasting impact of all this? What did this intense, centuries-old search for certainty really achieve? Well, the legacy is one of enduring trust. For over 1,200 years, Imam Muslim's collection has been accepted by the overwhelming majority of scholars as one of the most reliable books in existence, second only to the Quran. His method became the benchmark for intellectual rigor.
And that leaves us with one last thought. In our own era of fake news and constant misinformation online, what can we learn from a 1,200-year-old quest for the truth? A system built entirely on source criticism, verification, and a relentless demand for proof. It's definitely something worth thinking about.